Ultimately, when it comes to producing content, we're trying to give the best experience we can for the fans in the Arena Bowl during an event. So we want to create content that's going to have the most wow factor, it's going to have the most pop, it's really going to grab people's attention, whether it's just a crowd pumper to get the crowd really excited for the game, or it's delivering on an ad-sponsored piece that we're going to deliver to a client that wants to advertise during a game. So ultimately, we want to provide something that's going to be the most dynamic that we can for the video board.
Pepsi Center was built in 1999. It's all brand new, state-of-the-art, everything. We support the sports events here. It holds about 18,000 people for a sporting event. We have actually 80 sports events a year here, minimum. We support the Avalanche, the Nuggets, and the Mammoth indoor lacrosse. The mission of broadcast services at Pepsi Center would be to provide the best quality entertainment in-game that we possibly can. And that is directly affected by technology because you don't want to have some old standard def video showing on some old standard def boards, at this day and age. HD is pretty much a standard now, and fans come to expect it. Everybody has expectations of, TV production, but I think that anymore, arena production is actually, they're higher.
So when it came time finally to actually get an upgrade and actually commit to it, the big driving factor was the video board, but behind that, for the control room, that became a big piece. So Diversified Systems came to us early on and said, hey, we've got potentially this great deal with Grass Valley where we can partner with Grass Valley and they can provide sort of a comprehensive solution. We sort of had in our minds the certain types of equipment that we thought we'd go with, and a lot of that lined up already with Grass Valley. And so when we looked at sort of the portfolio of equipment that was going to come with it, I was already very familiar with the switcher, very familiar with their routers and their cameras. And so the other pieces, although they were new to me, I think we were really confident going into it based on the reputation of the other products. We have a Grass Valley Trinix video router coupled with a Concerto analog and AES digital audio router. We have 2 Dyno replay systems, which are both 4 in, 2 out. We have 2 standalone Summit servers. We have our K2 SAN that we use for our post-production, so for all of our media storage. And then Stratus, which is our media management tool to manage all that media that connects to most of the systems. And then we have the Grass Valley LDX camera series. We have 3 production cameras, the LDX Elite series camera, and as well as some Grass Valley terminal gear.
Right around June is when they got the dynos over across the street at Mile High Stadium. So I had a chance to go through some training with Grass Valley, doing the dynos. The training was great, and I think it comes down to some of the guys that are involved with Grass Valley. And, the controller itself is a lot more user-friendly than, an EBS system. And since I had a little bit of experience with that other box, but I think Dyno is kind of leapfrogging with just simple, you don't have to get to a menu, go to a shift, and then go to. There's a go-to button, you can punch in a time code, go back, find it, clip it, bank it. The layout of this dyno, it's just so much better than other controllers because you don't have 2 small buttons right next to each other, a menu and a shift button that are so easy to fat finger. All the buttons are the same, they're configured perfectly. So that's big, that's real big. And I think the K2 system, it's there and it feels good. So now with the ShareFlex, you can shift browse, get into the other boxes, take a look at what you want, and bring that into your machine, or through the transfer and the send list, you can have any machine set up to send to your box.
For us, coming from where we were, the dyno is a big upgrade in a number of ways. Number one, it's HD. It's 4 in, 2 out. Before we were only 2 in, 2 out. And having 2 dynos, now we have the capability of 8 in, 4 out, which allows us to record so many angles. The next big thing is the ability to push clips between the 2, so we can sort of separate out responsibilities easier. So it allows for more seamless workflow between the 2. We knew of Grass Valley's reputation as far as switchers go. So what we had hoped to accomplish was the ability to do 2 shows simultaneously, and space is limited down in our area. So what we were asking for was a lot, and so what we were able to do with the Carrera was get a single frame, which is taking a minimal rack space, but be able to drive 2 different panels in 2 different rooms, but still have all the bells and whistles that we needed to do the show that we wanted.
With The old switcher that I had, I was so limited and I didn't have any creativity. With this new Carrera, I have all the creativity I ever needed. Everything was so user-friendly, so easy for me to pick up on. So I didn't really miss a beat, and now I'm like, okay, how can I be more creative? The Carrera is such an open platform. It's where I can use my brain. The menu feature is one of the most easily navigated menus that I've been around. It is so easy to go in and kind of manipulate what I want with the switcher, and I can know exactly where everything's at. And the other thing that I really love is the IDPM and going in to be able to manipulate my keyers. You know, I've gotten a couple replay effects from the editors, and I'm like, they're kind of boring, so I'll put a little glow and a little effect on them. The IDPM is a way of making your production and your show just a little bit more professional.
So one of the big things with this project was that we needed to up our post-production a considerable amount, and in that we needed to add in media asset management. And so when we started out, we were looking at just a media asset management tool to manage our edit workflows. But what Stratus gave us, in addition to managing all the media and content that we use for editing and post-production, it also tied itself to all of our live production gear.
For the most part, we edit on the Adobe Creative Suite. From there, we push everything through Stratus to get it to where it needs to go for the night of the game. And on the other side of that, after the game, we push all the footage through Stratus, so it's basically an end-to-end workflow. Grass Valley has been tremendous from the get-go, from the training that they provided, from Stratus to the dynos to the switcher. Every product that we've installed here, the training that they came in and did has been amazing.
Most of the Grass Valley equipment was really intuitive, so even though our training schedules were somewhat compressed, we were able to pick up on it quickly. For years, at least from my standpoint, Grass Valley was a very well-known name in the truck world, in the TV world. Companies like Grass Valley are going to be called upon a lot more in the arena world to provide technological solutions that we're going to need to put on a show with a board like this.
The new center hung video board is currently the largest in square footage-wise in an NBA arena. Factors that led us to choose Grass Valley as a partner is the quality of the equipment. It is also very common equipment. I also found attractive the whole intuitive workflow solution. It wasn't just a control room, it also lent itself to our edit. And the price was very attractive as well.